Welcome to Pherotone Studios. I'm going to show you how to service a mixing desk. I'm going to break it down into sections, so do a few videos on this so you can see each individual part in a lot of detail, see exactly what I'm doing. Before you get started, I suggest getting a few bits such as some Deoxit D5 contact cleaner. Also get the Fader Lube version of this. This is great for cleaning lots of stuff inside the desks. Some isopropyl alcohol, 99.9%. This evaporates quickly, helps clean the PCBs. You'll need loads of wipes and cloths and kitchen roll just to make sure things are clean. Here's some wipes that I've got left. Bit of lemon in those, nice. Some multi-purpose cleaner, again a bit of lemon, because anything citrus helps cut through the grease. Just think how much hands are all over those desks, so it really builds up. Toothpicks, you'll see why at some point in the videos. And get a load of cotton buds, because as you can see I've only got about 20 left out of a box of 200, so go through a few. So I'd suggest getting everything ready before you start, and I'll take you through it. The first thing I'm going to do is remove every single one of these knobs from the mixing desk. There's about 500 on here. I'm also going to take all the individual faders off as well. I'm going to put them in a container, fill it with washing up liquid and leave it to soak overnight. I'm not going to start the project properly until tomorrow. The reason I'm going to use washing up liquid is because washing up liquid has molecules which grab a water molecule one end and the other end grabs grease, and these are going to be covered in grease from your fingertips, so it should help remove that. I might give each individual one a rub over with a cloth as well. So that's going to be phase one. If you're not familiar with your desk, I would definitely suggest doing it in sections, so in 8-channel bits and the master separately. This is a Mackie desk at 24/8, and it's pretty standard, so I know my way around this desk. It's not too difficult. These are the same size knobs everywhere, but more complicated desks like the Soundcraft with different colour knobs. Once you've taken the knobs off, you will forget your way around the desk, so take a load of pictures. And yeah, I'd also probably recommend some of these style gloves, because when you take off, you know, a few hundred faders, your fingers are going to start hurting. So I'm going to take some pictures and get going. And that's all the knobs and faders removed. I'm going to give you a close-up just so you can see you know, where the dust accumulates. It also gives you an idea, because you'll see all the bare shafts sticking up without any knobs. You'll get an idea of, you know, you might think you'd be able to put all the knobs back on in the right place, but when you've got nothing to go by, it can be quite difficult. So I'll give you a close-up. See this dust here, so it's all over the desk. It accumulates all between the buttons. So I'm going to fill this with washing up liquid. Oh, that's close. And leave that overnight. And that's phase one of cleaning just the knobs. Oh. The washing up liquid seems to have separated all the grease from the knobs, and now it's floating in the container I put it in, so I'm going to just show you that. See all these bits of grease, see, like that there, just suspended in the water, hanging from the underside of the knobs. It's disgusting. So this is full of the fairy liquid and all the knobs. I've actually rinsed this. This is the third batch of this I've done. So I've done it 3 times just to make sure all the grease is removed. You can see it all floating around. So what I like to do is use a bit of kitchen roll to collect it all before giving it a rinse. So because the grease seems to float around in the water, there's a bit there. And then use a colander or two just to pour this through, collect it all, and you give it a rinse under the tap. So. And then wash this out just to make sure it's got no scum left in it. For the next part I'm going to fill this back up with hot water and put a biological laundry tablet in there. So one of these things. I'm joking. Because it's got enzymes in it, it should help eat away some of the grease in case there's any left. So I'm going to let that mix in with there and carry on rinsing these while this package melts away. And leave it overnight. While I leave the knobs to soak, I'm going to give the mixing desk a once over with these antibacterial cleaning wipes, which are citrus, so should help remove some of the grease from the desk. And what I do is I work it in using a paintbrush, which is quite a good technique. I don't spray it on the desk at this point in case anything goes through to the PCBs below. It just gets a bit of the dust off so no more goes through in the meantime, and it makes it a bit quicker to clean later because you've got to go over the whole desk face once you've taken all the PCBs out. Now it's looking quite clean. Obviously I'm going to take the whole thing apart and give it a proper clean. But I'd probably recommend every now and then doing these stages of it just as a matter of course, because if you remove all the grease from the knobs and faders and you clean all the dust from the surface of the desk, there's a lot less stuff to go down, fall down the tiny little gaps, down all the fader strips and start causing problems with the desk. So every now and then it's probably good to do this anyway. I do, it just makes the desk go a bit better. Yeah, so I'm going to take the whole thing apart and start cleaning the insides. I've now left them in washing up liquid overnight for 3 nights running and changed the water each time and rinsed them thoroughly. I've left them in the biological detergent for 24 hours, so I'm going to drain that out and then leave them to dry. I'm going to leave them just in the colanders, probably for about half an hour, just to let all the water drain out. Then I'm going to just pour them out onto a towel on the worktop. That'll be exciting to watch. Now the fun bit. And then just spread them out and leave them to dry for maybe a few hours, maybe as long as possible really, hopefully 24 hours. So that was part 1 of how to clean a mixing desk. Obviously like, subscribe and comment. I'd suggest that you use this whole video, sort of these stages of cleaning the knobs and giving the desk a good clean over. You can use it as an interim service, so between doing big services you can just make sure that all grease and dirt is removed from the desk, so there's less to go down through all the hundreds of gaps and grooves. It just sort of reduces how much stuff can get in there, because it really builds up, and once there's dust and grease sticking to dust, it gets a bit disgusting. So it's quite a good, interim service type thing. And then part 2 of how to service a mixing desk, it gets even more exciting. I take everything apart, I take the lot out, so I'll show you how to do that. So get some tools handy, like some small star keys and some small Allen keys, and general screwdrivers really. So I'll remove all the PCBs and you get to see that. See you there.